Welcome back to another episode of the Plugged in LaPorte podcast, where we keep you connected to the people, places, and events that shape the city of LaPorte. I'm your host, Nate Loucks, and I'm glad to have you back with us today. Now, every episode, we dive into the heart of LaPorte, Indiana, bringing you stories of people who are impacting the city through their leadership, voices, and hard work. First, a huge thank you to our loyal listeners for your continued support and engagement with the podcast. Your curiosity and passion for LaPorte fuel this show, and we're thrilled to have you along for the ride. Now, if you find value in what we do, please share this podcast with your friends, your neighbors, or anyone you think would appreciate staying updated about what's going on in LaPorte, Indiana, and the surrounding areas. In today's episode, we've got a sweet treat for you. I sit down with Courtney Dickman, the young co-owner of Downtown Delights, a gem in the heart of downtown LaPorte, known for its premium frozen yogurt and smoothies. Courtney shares her journey in the food industry, the challenges and triumphs of running a small business on Lincoln Way, and what she envisions for the future of Downtown Delights. But that's not all. We also check in again with LaPorte Park Superintendent Mark Schreiber to get the scoop of what the Parks Department has in store for us in the upcoming month and in the summer. With the buzz around LaPorte's Lake Fest, we're eager to bring any new updates directly from the source, if he even has any. If you missed our last episode, you missed an insightful conversation with Mayor Tom Dermody. It's loaded with updates and initiatives straight from the city's helm. So be sure to go back and give it a listen as well. Lastly, I want to thank the LaPorte Economic Advancement Partnership for sponsoring the Plugged in LaPorte podcast. Their support enables us to bring you these stories and highlights from around our city. For more information of how they're pushing LaPorte forward, visit laportepartnership.com. So grab your favorite pair of headphones, relax, and let's get connected, curious, and plugged in. It's time for another episode of the Plugged in LaPorte podcast. All right, on this podcast, we want to take the time to introduce our listeners to downtown businesses that contribute to the culture of our city and showcase their impact on the community. It's our hope to introduce you, the listener, to the businesses that maybe you do visit and don't know much about, or you haven't visited yet. So joining us now in the studio is Courtney Dickman, the co-owner of Downtown Delights, a family-friendly, self-serve frozen yogurt shop that has become kind of a cornerstone of community and family gatherings in LaPorte. It's located in a refurbished 160-year-old historic building at the intersection of Lincoln Way and Monroe Street. And Downtown Delights is a testament to the dreams and determination of Courtney and her mother, and even her grandmother, who envisioned a gathering place for our community. So let's talk about the story of Downtown Delights, how it came to be, and the impact that Courtney and her family are having on LaPorte. Courtney, welcome to the show, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. The business did start between us three women, my mom, myself, and my grandma, back in 2021, right after COVID. And it slowly and quickly at the same time, we took off before we were ready. I think we wanted to do a lot of sampling in the beginning, and we opened the doors, and it was all going forward. We had a rush of people for our opening weekend, and ever since then, we haven't shut the doors. We're open 7 days a week, and it's been a really exciting process.
So you look back there, and you started this with your mother, like I said, 21 years old. You look back now at when you started, and do you sometimes wonder, like, we didn't know so much about business and all these kind of things, and wish you would know now what you knew then?
Yes, yeah. There were a lot of things that I was very unsure of, but I'm glad I had my mom there because she knows a lot more than I do, and I was more of the marketing side of things and growing the brand and making it a family-friendly spot for everyone in LaPorte, and she was more of the business aspect, and it was her idea all along. Like, we really need something for families to gather, have a sweet treat, for birthday parties. So it all came together with my branding and her idea.
So let's talk about for those of you that don't know, you're right on the corner, right across from Plaza 618. It's a beautiful building. You guys have done a great job. So maybe some of our listeners don't even know. What is Froyo, and what is a Froyo place?
Frozen yogurt is a very healthier alternative to ice cream. It is soft serve, and we make it daily in the shop. It is full of more nutritious aspects rather than like ice cream. It's not table sugar. We make it with a fruit base, and is lower calorie, which is really nice for people who have dietary restrictions. And we also provide dairy free. And the way you do froyo is you create your own cup of yogurt. You can mix and match flavors. You can add different toppings to it, and it goes by the weight. So at the end of creating your sundae, you just put it on the scale, and then you can pay by how much it weighs.
Yeah, and you've got dozens of things you can add to it, right?
Yeah.
From fruits to candy to fudge, all these kind of things.
Yes, I think there's an unlimited supply of combinations, and I don't think I've seen two of the same.
Yeah, so I enjoy thinking that, this is a healthier alternative to ice cream, and then putting all
And
the
then the toppings come
junk
along.
in there. That certainly doesn't make it. And you've got a place to dine in as well, right?
Yes.
This is not just eat and go. You can actually go there with your family.
Yeah, we have a few tables inside, and then in the summertime we have some tables outdoor, and then it's even nicer because you can walk right across the street to the plaza and enjoy that aspect of downtown.
Do you see a lot of that happening?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of our summer customers take it right across the street, enjoy the splash pad, or they'll read into the mural and the history that has come with LaPorte and the plaza.
So let's talk a bit, because we do talk about economic development. We talk about business strategies, these kind of things here. So you're downtown. You don't have parking, correct, other than street parking?
Yes, that's it, just the street parking.
But has that been you think, a detriment, or do people navigate that fairly well?
Lately, it has been a challenge. I think with a mixture of the Lowe's building collapsing, and that has taken up some parking, and their construction ongoing right now. They have all of their trucks right there, so that's a disadvantage. And then the corner turning onto Monroe is a challenge sometimes, and we have a lot of semis that come by that worry people who are parking on the corner. So I try to gear that they go diagonal from us to the free parking by Mucho Mas and utilize that and just walk across.
Mm-hmm. So as obviously this is a conversation that is ongoing in the community and with the mayor, these kind of things. You mentioned semi-traffic, so I'd be remiss if I don't mention it. Do you see a lot of semi-traffic downtown?
Yes.
Okay.
When I was there every day, I saw it multiple times a day. And a challenge is they're turning onto Monroe,
Which is
and
a
there's
state highway, correct?
And there's a line of cars waiting, and they can't fit, so then people have to back up, and then there's the chance of they're very, very close to the cars parked on Monroe, so it gets to be a tight squeeze.
So Downtown Delights, obviously you've been running this. You started essentially right after COVID began.
Yeah.
Not always the best strategy to start a business. But as you guys have been running this for 3 to 4 years now, where do you think Downtown Delights, or where would you like to see Downtown Delights go as a company?
I would love to see us expand our menu. We're kind of at a still stance because we have 4 machines and we're rotating a mixture of flavors all the time. But I would love to have another alternative, or to bring in more options with the frozen yogurt, to expand to milkshakes, to customize sundaes that we create behind the counter, and possibly do hard scooped ice cream. So we're a one-stop shop for frozen dessert.
All right, so let's workshop some ideas here. What about pie? Because I really like pie.
I know. I would love pie. We have been working with a baker who does our private events, so birthday parties. She'll do cupcakes and cakes. And we want to eventually have a full kitchen to have the equipment for her to do her baked goods with our frozen yogurt.
Like a full, essentially, dessert stop.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can see that potentially happening. What do you think are the what are the hurdles to jump to get there for you?
Square footage. We are in a very tight building suite, and we would love to either expand that suite in the current location, or to maybe expand elsewhere.
Because you enjoy, from what I gather, you do enjoy being downtown, correct?
Yes, we really do.
And so that's the hard thing, is when you're landlocked and your building, and your building has been so beautifully renovated too. It is, I'll compliment this because probably you don't hear a lot of it, but you have a sign that actually sticks out.
Yeah.
Essentially like the historic LaPorte used to have signs. And I love that you guys chose that
Thank you.
aesthetic decision because it looks great.
Yeah, we went back and forth on what we were looking for in the signage, and we wanted something that recreated what used to be there in the downtown area, but also with a modern look.
Yeah, you did a great job there. And so you mentioned parties and things like this. I assume that's part of the revenue stream you have. Who comes in for parties, and if any of our listeners want to have a party, what is their first step?
Well, the age group has varied a lot. We initially started with younger birthdays. We had first birthdays. We had baby showers. A lot of elementary school students will do gatherings there, and they can just reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram, and our website also has a place to fill out a sheet and information that will come to us, and we can schedule that for them.
So, business owner in LaPorte, you're 25 now, you said.
Yeah.
Your mother's your partner as well. I would love to hear from you what kinds of things you want to see in LaPorte moving forward. Like what would you like to see? You know, it can be infrastructure wise, different sidewalks, different. Obviously, having Lowe's building done would probably help, but also just as you've kind of looked at LaPorte in a different lens now, not just as a resident, but as a business owner. What things would you like to see going forward?
Yeah, over the last few years, I feel like my perspective on LaPorte has totally changed. Before, I was newly out of college, coming home due to COVID, and then my mom had this idea. We shoot for the business, and then I'm all in on this business there every day, running the ins and outs. And now I've taken a little bit of a step back, and a new lens has come along. I'm a mom-to-be, so I'm seeing different things for kids, not just at our business, but other businesses. And I think the largest thing that I would love to see downtown is more outdoor seating, bigger sidewalks, more stores that geared towards the community that we can walk up and down Lincoln Way to. I really like the plaza downtown, but the traffic does worry me with kids. So I would want to see maybe more potential of a safer walking downtown area. And as for businesses, I'm still in my 20s, so I feel like more things for people to do and socialize and meet people you normally wouldn't out in the community, and not just a dinner spot.
Yeah, for sure. I think that would be great. So you're not, as a business owner on Lincoln Way, you're not terrified of the idea of a bypass around there for some traffic?
No, I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
We had another way to reroute.
Especially semi-traffic, right?
Yes.
Well, Courtney, where can people find you guys online? Where can people find you in person?
Online, we have a website, www.downtowndelightslp.com, and we also have a Facebook page, an Instagram, a TikTok. And then if you want to find us in person, you can come to 702 Lincoln Way in LaPorte.
Well, thank you so much. You guys do a great job. I always love coming in there. And I hope as weather obviously you're open year round, but as weather's getting warmer, if you're looking for something to go and enjoy with your family or just by yourself, come into Downtown Delights and enjoy some frozen yogurt.
Thank you.
All right. All right, friends, back by popular demand is none other than Mark Schreiber, the Park Superintendent of LaPorte, joining us for his monthly update on all things parks and recreation. Last time Mark was here, we talked about the impact our city's parks have on our community's quality of life, and he gave us a sneak peek at some of the projects and events coming our way. Today, we're diving deeper into what the next month or so hold for children and adults alike, looking to engage with our beautiful parks and recreational activities, because I believe we genuinely have some of the best parks for a city our size. Mark, welcome back to the show. It's great to have you here once again. How are you?
Doing great, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk parks.
Yeah, it's always busy for you, right? Is there a down season, really?
No, we really don't much anymore, and people always used to ask us that, especially in the winter months. Well, what are you guys doing? And we always had plenty to keep us busy, whether it was planning administratively or maintenance work, refurbishing and doing things, interior work. But no, we really don't have a down season. But yes, the spring especially is a busy season for us as we're gearing up for. We've got a lot of spring stuff already rolling, but we're gearing up for summer.
So I assume all of the parks baseball stuff that's already started, right? So
Yep, everything except for T-ball. T-ball's a June, July thing for us, so we still have some registrations going for that until the beginning of May. But otherwise, youth baseball, youth softball, everything, they're in practices. They'll be starting games here within a matter of weeks, and we're excited for it.
So our youth sports are they suffer the same consequences of other youth sports around the country, where Parks Department youth sports sometimes can compete with the more highly priced, AAU type of sports, right?
Sure.
How are our park sports doing? Are they growing? Are they, because I think this is such an important part of what our Parks Department offers, baseball, accessible baseball and everything. How do you think that is going for us?
Yeah, it's an important part of what our community offers. I mean, I think you always have to have that opportunity. I'm a big believer that sports are for all, especially lifetime sports such as tennis or golf or swimming. I mean, those should always be available to all. But yeah, it's obviously a different time, and it is a challenge. Our leagues are holding strong. I mean, I think we're not diminishing to the point where we have to be concerned, like other communities have seen their baseball and softball recreational programs for kids go away, and then the only option is the pay to play or the travel ball or however you'd like to phrase it. We're still fairly solid, but we would always like to build our numbers. One of the bigger issues you run into with travel ball is, if I lose 12 kids to a travel ball team out of our baseball league, okay, that's fine. Believe me, there's 12 kids in LaPorte, Indiana that we could find and bring them into our program to supplement those numbers and keep the league strong. But you usually lose about 5 or 6 dads or moms that would be your coaches. So now, you're losing coaching from your league, and that's one of the bigger challenges for us to find volunteers to coach. A lot of people work out of the community, or they work swing shifts, or whatever it might be. Whatever challenges there are, it's hard to get people who are passionate and dynamic and really want to get out there and do it. We always wind up with the good-hearted volunteer who wants to come out and they're willing to take the team. But with travel ball, to me, the bigger impact is you lose a lot of your core volunteers. And that hurts the overall program in the long run.
So if people want to volunteer, they can definitely contact the Parks Department.
Oh, absolutely.
Even if you don't have a kid in the program, right?
No, and we don't see as many of those what we would call lay coaches. The non-parent coach, I guess, is what you would say.
Or they had kids 20 years ago.
It used to be. My Little League coach was a local PE teacher. He coached Little League in the summer, just an extension of that. I myself coached youth ball for years. Matter of fact, there was one year I was coaching Babe Ruth League. In our division, there were 7 teams. 6 of us were not parents. I mean, and that just doesn't happen much anymore. So we still get the occasional non-parent who wants to come in, just wants to give their time. We're seeing now some of the grandfathers that are coaching, which is kind of cool. Those are guys that I remember maybe playing back in their day or coaching a little when their kids came through. Now they're coaching their grandkids. But you don't have to be a parent to coach. Share your knowledge or umpire. I think that's another thing that gets underscored is the officials that we need. A good umpire is just as important as a good coach to the development of a young player, whether it's baseball or softball, in learning the rules, learning the strike zone, how to properly play the game. So, yeah, we're always looking for people who want to get involved.
Shout out to my friend Chris Fritzen, who I coached Little League with for a season, who was coaching his grandkids, and I was the good guy that gave hugs, and Chris was the actual coach. So
yeah, so exactly. Chris played high school baseball here. He played for my father.
Good player.
And good, very good pitcher. And then years later, he coached his son Doug, and actually I coached against him. This is about the same time I was coaching Babe Ruth League. And then I was thrilled to see him back out on the field. So I love stories like that, and we need to get more people involved. And again, we've got a lot of people who are retirees, and they're looking for things to do. I don't think there's any more enjoyable way to give back to your community than youth coaching or youth mentoring in any variety, but coaching especially. It's just fun. Yeah. It makes you feel a little younger to be around the kids even. So we really encourage it. So again, I think our leagues are holding strong. Certainly travel ball makes that impact, and it's dented every community. We're not unique. But I really do believe in sports for all, and the more kids we keep in that recreational program, the stronger it'll be for years to come.
All right, let's talk about some things. This podcast episode is going to come out in May, and people are starting to plan their summers, what to do, things to do with their family in around LaPorte. Let's talk about some events coming up. Is the Parks Department going to do Foodie Tuesdays again? Is that coming back?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start the Tuesday after Memorial Day. So we'll run May 28th through August 27th. We'll be back at Unity Park, 10:30 to 2:30. Got a full lineup of food vendors lined up, and pretty excited to bring it back. And then we do Foodie Tuesday nights on the first Tuesday of every month, where we have that same vendor there then from 4 to 7. We heard from enough residents that were like, hey, I work all day, or I can't get over to that part of town. So we'll have the offering in the evening again. And again, we started this when Unity Park was first deeded to the city. We thought, hey, how do we get people engaged with this? It's a beautiful passive recreation park. There's not a big playground. We do have a nice little splash pad there for the kids, but we don't have a lot of amenities down there because it's meant to be more of a go out and enjoy the lake type park. How do we get people down there? So we came up with Foodie Tuesdays and said, hey, come down here and grab food. The idea is then the rest of the year or the rest of the week or the rest of the month, people will stop by Third Base or El Bracero or whatever restaurants are in that area and pick a little something to go and go sit down by the lake and enjoy it. So it's really meant to just kind of get people engaged.
I go there often because I text you about the lights when they're not working, but
which is rare.
They're almost always working. It's actually just the dimmers that are not. But it is a fantastic park, and I encourage people, like I said, even if you're looking for playground stuff, that it does not have that, but the view of Pine Lake on that park is just fantastic.
Yeah, there's some, I've talked to a few people that call it their happy place. It's a spot where you can go down, especially if you go down on the other side of the seawall there, and you get right on the ledge there, and sit on one of those benches and read a book or just enjoy watching the boats go by. It's a beautiful view, and it also has one of the more beautiful sunset spots in LaPorte.
A lot of photographers I see there and painters.
But this really speaks to one of our missions, and that's get people again to water. And Unity Park is a great way to do that. Kiwanis Teledyne, Soldiers Memorial Park, Ski Beach. That's a way to allow people that don't have boats, don't live on the lake, to be able to go down and enjoy the assets that we do have. And so we love it. We're thrilled that the Unity Foundation was willing to take that on, and it was a great process. And we've wound up with a great park, just like almost all of our collaborations wind up with these wonderful assets.
All right. What other events do people need to know about this summer?
Yeah, so we're bringing back our movies in the park. We're going to have, they're on, and I'll give you the dates, June 14th and 28th, July 12th, and August 2 and August 23rd. So 5 different dates. All of them are at the amphitheater, except for the June 28th is going to be on the Civic Lawn, which we always like to do. I like to do events whenever possible just to give that neighborhood something that's walkable to and come down and enjoy. But we really want to take advantage of the amphitheater as an asset too. We've got beautiful facilities there now. Once the Fox Park renovations are done, which they should be by Memorial Day, we're going to have even more great assets out there. So we're really trying to push it out there. The night bike rides are going to come back June 21st, July 19th, and August 16th. And then, of course, the very popular Friday night live events that we've done down on Monroe Street are coming back June 7th, July 5th, and August 9th. With a variety of different themes. I think we've got the Cheeseburger in Paradise and the Taco Fest coming back. So we're trying to do as much as we can to get people engaged with their community. One thing we found with doing more events in LaPorte, and again, doing more events at the Civic Auditorium, is that people then spend more of their entertainment dollars in LaPorte. So if we have a concert at the Civic, people are going to have dinner in LaPorte. Mm-hmm. Whereas opposed if they're going to the Morris in South Bend, or if they're heading to one of the casinos or going up to Chicago,
they're going to residual economic benefits.
Yeah, so they're going to dine outside of LaPorte. So I think our restaurants, our other businesses do get that residual benefit when we do these type of events here and keep people's entertainment dollars in town rather than them going over to the next town over to find a night out on the town or things for their kids to do.
And one of the last things I want to talk about before we end here, we'll have you back again, but As parents are looking for things for their kids to do this summer, I know that the Parks Department hosts summer camps. We've put our kids through many of them. Tennis summer camp. There's art summer camps, these kind of things. I assume sign up for those is going on, or are they already full?
No, absolutely. So art camp, which is, we've been doing that for ages, and it's been one of our more popular offerings in the summertime. We offer 2 sessions, so 2 opportunities to get up, and they're 2-week camps, Monday through Thursday. We also offer a week-long nature camp. That'll be, I believe, the first week in August, kind of right before the kids go back to school. That's been highly popular. And, of course, we have our free summer playground program, and this is one that's close to my heart because it's one of the things that I grew up with, was going to the parks every day. It's why I built a love for the parks. And we offer that in 5 different parks. They're there 4 times during the week, either during the morning or in the afternoon, and we have playground leaders come out with a van full of games and sporting equipment and everything else, and we keep the kids engaged all summer. There's nothing sadder than driving by a park in the middle of summer and seeing nobody in there. So I saw that when I first came to the park department. I said, we're going to do something about that, and we brought back the summer playground program. And the Health Foundation has been a real key partner in that and helping us fund that annually. And matter of fact, they fund us in 2-year cycles now because they believe in it so much. They don't make us come back every year. They're like, hey, this is a great program. You got it. Just every 2 years, come back and we'll continue to fund you. So, we're excited. We're looking forward to it. We got a great, getting some great hires in there for summer. And of course, Stone Lake Beach, is one of the great family beaches. It's a great thing for families to be able to go out and do. And we have lifeguards out there during the day throughout summer vacation. So pretty excited for that. And Nate, I'd be remiss if I got off the podcast with you if I didn't mention Arts in the Park. And there are great partners there. They'll have concerts throughout the summer. I think they start up Thursdays at the Thursday after Memorial Day, and they go all the way through Labor Day every Thursday with a different concert. Very eclectic lineup. And then, of course, our Wednesday night city band concerts out there. So there's just so much to do. It's almost like there's not a day off in that whole schedule, right? You can go from Foodie Tuesdays to city bands to Arts in the Park to Friday Night Lives. Yeah, we haven't even discussed Lake Fest, but we've got a little bit of time there. Of course, it's the last weekend in July, like we've kind of established it as. I think this year it's July 26th through 28th. So we're excited for Lake Fest. We're excited for everything going on in the summer, and appreciate the opportunity to be able to promote that.
Well, always an honor to have you back, or have you on the podcast. We'll have you back soon to talk about all these things going on. What's the website for people to find out? Yeah,
LaporteParkandRec.com, or they can go to liveinthelakelifeorg, and you'll find everything we got going on around LaPorte.
So if you're a parent or caretaker of a child and you want something for your child to do this summer, lots of things to get involved with. But also if you don't have kids, there's always events. There's Foodie Tuesday nights, different events downtown. Get involved because you will meet your neighbors and you'll have a chance to see what the city has to offer. Well, thanks so much for being here, Mark.
Oh, no, I appreciate it, and we're looking forward to warmer weather.
Yeah, same here. And that's a wrap on another episode of the Plugged in LaPorte podcast. A huge thank you to our guests today, Courtney Dickman, the dynamic co-owner of Downtown Delights, and LaPorte Park Superintendent Mark Schreiber for sharing their insights and stories with us. Their contributions to LaPorte are truly making a difference, and we're grateful they could join us in sharing their journeys. I also want to take a moment to thank you, our listeners, for tuning in. Your support means the world to us. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it with your friends, rating the podcast, and leaving us feedback. We love hearing from you, and your input makes us make each episode even better. A special thank you goes out to the LaPorte Economic Advancement Partnership for sponsoring the podcast. Their ongoing support is essential, and we're grateful for their commitment to our community. Learn more about their work in economic development by visiting LaPortePartnership.com. And of course, we couldn't do this without the incredible Lindsay Johnkind, our podcast producer. We're thankful for everything that you do. My name is Nate Loucks, and it's been a pleasure being your host. Remember, we'll return in 2 weeks with another new episode of the Plugged in LaPorte podcast. But until then, stay plugged in and keep making LaPorte a wonderful place to live, to work, and to be a part of. Goodbye for now.